The real strategy in poker doesn't really have anything to do with playing cards. If only it were that easy. No real poker player mastery comes when you learn the subtle intricacies of what to bet, how to bet, and how much to bet. Once you are a master of poker betting, you'll be unstoppable. One basic principle. One basic principle to keep in mind is this: bet when you have a good hand, fold, or stop betting when you have a bad hand. Isn't that obvious? Of course it is. However, if you watch new players try to bet, you wouldn't think that's an obvious route. The point is not to try to be sneaky or cunning when you're first learning to play. It will only backfire and you will lose your money. Check raising. One of the most successful tricky bets to make is called the check raise. To check raise, you just need to check or not bet anything on the opening bet. Even if you have a good hand, which is when this type of bet should be played, the goal is to get your opponent to call a bet, which you will raise. Once this initial lure works, you'll be able to continue raising each other only to increase the pot, which you will likely win with your good hand. Be careful of using this if you only have an average or worse or poor hand. It will only work if you feel confident you will be able to win the hand, since the goal of this betting technique is not to scare your opponents away, but to lure them in just long enough to increase the betting pool. Bluffing. Bluffing is far riskier. If you bet when you don't have a good hand, you'll run the very real risk that your opponent will have an even better hand. In the world of online poker, it's even harder to bluff, since you cannot give body language that lulls your opponent into a false sense of security. Gleaning information. You can glean information from bets as well. To do this, you can simply raise on the very first bet. The net effect of this technique is that those who have bad hands will fold, whereas those with good hands will stay in. You can make that judgment call about your continuation of the game based on this information. Balance caution and boldness when playing poker, especially if you're new. Be sure to balance caution with boldness while erring on the side of caution. If you try to be too bold and too risky when starting out with poker, you'll quickly lose your money and your motivation.